We've got the top 10 fantasy baseball ads for Week 8 coming up next on Beat the Odds. Don't go anywhere. Hello, sports fans. Welcome back to another episode of Beat the Odds. We're going to take a look at the top 10 ads you should be putting on your squads here ahead of Week 8 of the fantasy baseball season. Again, if you like this type of content, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so that way you will be notified whenever we drop an episode. We do have a contest up and running here. It is in the final week, so if you want to be in on the 1,000 subscriber giveaway, make sure to check out that episode on our YouTube channel. We do have a shout out to make here for Uncle Ted. Wants us to take a look at JP France, Dane Dunning, and JJ Bleday. I won't spend too much time here with France. He was hit hard in his last start by the Cubs. I don't know how many people are looking at France as a pickup here at the moment. Dane Dunning, though, he's an interesting one. He's worth a short-term pickup in my mind. He's filling in for Jacob deGrom, and based on the way that he has been pitching, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't at least consider Dunning back in the rotation once deGrom is back. JJ Bleday, a power threat. He hit 1,072 OPS with 7 homers in AAA, but the career .235 batting average in the minors kind of caps his ceiling in my mind as a trusted fantasy contributor going forward. All right, with that out of the way here, let's go directly to our top 10. We are going to start things off with Josiah Gray, 54% owned, 7 innings pitched here last week, 5 strikeouts, 1.29 ERA, 1.43 whip. He's thrown 6 different pitches so far this year. None of them are great, but hitters are only hitting 169 off the slider, which Gray pitches most often at 29.5%. He's got 22 walks versus 45 strikeouts and 52 innings pitched, but he does have a 9K per 9 lifetime. So I expect that Josiah Gray will return to something similar to that by the end of the season. Up next at number 9, we're going to take a look at Bryan Abreu, 51% owned, 3 innings pitched last week, 1 win, 4 strikeouts, no ERA, .67 whip. He has been equipped with one of the nastiest sliders in the show. Opponents are hitting 151 off of that. Opponents hit 143 against his fastball. So his pitches, he's got 2++ pitches here. Heir apparent for closer gig in Houston. We'll see if that happens this year. May not, but even if it doesn't, Abreu is certainly going to be valuable on squads here as the season goes on. Up next at number 8, Hwan Bae, 32% owned, 3 runs batted in, 278 average here last week, batting 7th in the Pittsburgh lineup. StatCast doesn't really favor Bae. He's in the bottom 10% in average exit velocity, hard hit percentage, expecting batting average, and expected slug. But you would only be really interested in Bae for one stat, and that's his speed. He's at 98th percentile for that. He's putting it to good use as well with 14 stolen bases here so far. So if you need speed on your team, it's still worth a look to take a peek at Hwan Bae. Up next at number 7, we got Casey Schmitt, 48% owned, 2 runs, 3 runs batted in, 292 average here, batting 7th last week for San Francisco. He has an 854 OPS with 21 homers and 8 ball. Not a whole lot of experience outside of that, so that kind of leaves Schmitt a little lower on the list here for me. He was promoted May 9th, and he actually has torn the cover off the ball since he's been in the majors. Will that last? Probably not, but as long as he is still hot, he deserves a spot in the San Francisco lineup. Up next at number 6, we have Alex Kirilloff, 30% owned, 5 runs, 2 homers, 4 runs batted in, 360 average, batting 2nd in the Minnesota lineup. He's got a high pedigree bat. He's coming off wrist surgery. Of course, wrist surgery, you always have to worry a little bit about how that's going to look with regards to the power numbers there. He does need to see some more playing time versus lefties. If he does, that makes Kirilloff a must pick up. But there's no harm getting in on him early because those left-on-left at-bats are really just a matter of time. He's going to be getting his fair share of those here relatively shortly if he keeps this up. Up next at number 5, we have Matt McLain. 3 runs scored, 1 run batted in, 333 average here last week, hitting 2nd in Cincinnati's lineup. In 138 at-bats in AAA so far this year before his call-up, he had 12 homers, 30 runs scored, 40 runs batted in, 10 stolen bases, 348 average, 474 on-base percentage, 710 slug. For those who did the math, that's an 1184 OPS, and he's now hitting 2nd in the Cincinnati lineup. In that sandbox, that is the Great American Ballpark. Do not hesitate. If he's available in your league here, go ahead and pick him up. At number 4, we have Elias Diaz. 1 run scored, 4 runs batted in, 368 average last week here, batting third in the Colorado lineup. He's 50% owned. His ownership is rising. Diaz is still, however, critically under-rostered. If you've got Sean Murphy, Jonah Heim, Will Smith, Sal Perez, Adley Rushman, or JT Realmuto, you don't really have to worry about picking up Elias Diaz. You should be fine. But if you don't have one of those catchers, give Diaz a shot, because I believe he's got a really good chance at placing ahead of any other catcher that I didn't name above. Let's go to number 3, Jake Fraley, 42% owned. Last week he had 3 runs scored, 1 homer, 7 runs batted in, 3 stolen bases, 368 average, batting third in that Cincinnati lineup there. Like Matt McLain, Jake Fraley is high in that Cincinnati lineup. He's got power at 81 percentile, but he doesn't really barrel up that much at the 45th percentile here. He's got a great eye and 79 percentile sprint speed, so that's going to result in more stolen base opportunities. There seems to be a relatively good floor on Jake Fraley right now. Like, he's not going to be a bust pickup if you get him, especially with where he hits in the lineup there in Cincinnati. Let's go to number 2, Taj Bradley, 54% owned, 5 innings pitched here last week, 4 strikeouts, 360 average, 1 whip. He comes equipped with a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. He's got a cutter that opponents hit 167 off of. He's got a curve that's 18 miles per hour slower than his fastball. He's got a .93 whip so far in the season, and he's on a league-leading team. Bradley is a stud, and he deserves to be universally owned, especially with the holes in the Tampa Bay rotation, and there's going to be a while before they get healthy again here. Taj Bradley's going to pick up a handful of starts between now and the rest of the season. And last but not least, let's take a look at Jarren Duran, 60% owned, 2 runs, 1 homer, 3 runs batted in, 1 stolen base, 286 average here last week, batting 5th in the Boston lineup. He is a star currently in the making. Power speed combo, expected batting average in the 88th percentile. He kind of starting to profile like a Johnny Damon 2.0. I really truly believe that this is going to be the last call on Jarren Duran. Take a really good look at your current outfield situation on your fantasy squad. I can almost guarantee that Jarren Duran, as long as he stays healthy, at the end of the season, he'll be at least higher ranked than one of your current outfielders that you're currently carrying on your team. And that's going to do it here for this episode. If you guys enjoyed it here, please don't forget to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, so that way you do not miss another episode. But that's going to do it for us here. Thank you guys again for watching. We are going to sign off for now, but we're going to catch you guys on our next episode.